2023 was a good year for enigmatic six-letter indie titles. Having played all three of them recently, I would say that I prefer Dredge's aesthetics, Jusant's mechanics, and Cocoon's thematics. With Cocoon, however, there is something else going on, something far larger and more important than my personal preferences. By omitting dialogue, text, and UI, Cocoon places itself alongside Limbo, the original six-letter masterpiece Inside, and their half-sibling Somerville. Somerville made the mistake of thinking that the commitment to a lack of language by itself is what made its predecessors timeless. Its ambitious story far outgrew the ability of its wordless gameplay to tell it. Somerville would have been a better game if it had had dialogue, and it might have even been a better movie than a game. Cocoon leans in the opposite direction, and it could not be anything but a video game. The puzzles and exploration are the story, perhaps even more profoundly than in Limbo and Inside. Cocoon represents the current state of this art, and no other. Cocoon's world is stunningly beautiful, but also intuitively functional. There is true artistry in how it presents a completely alien aesthetic in a thoroughly comprehensible way. Cocoon is not designed well just because it lacks language and UI, but because it lacks any need for language or UI. Nobody needs to tell me not to walk into these yellow crystals or not to get hit by one of these purple projectiles. It's obvious. When walking over one of these plates causes my controller to vibrate and my character's wings to flutter and glow, nobody needs to tell me that I should probably try pressing A. That could be called a diegetic button prompt, and it is a perfect example of what I've decided to call the Kalashnikov approach to user experience. When the charging handle is right where the cartridges go in and out, and the magazine release is right where your thumb lands when you go to grab the magazine, there's no need for a manual or a tutorial, or any translations thereof. There's no need for language at all. The only real way to understand what I mean is to play the game, and please do, it's only like 4 hours, but let's take a simple example from early on. This area starts by teaching you in a very simple manner that these pipes exist for you to put your ball into. Walking deeper into the area, you cannot help but step on one of the pressure pads that rotate the pipe elbows. So now you know how that works too, and it instantly becomes clear how those two systems will interact. You need to put your ball into the pipe and then rotate the elbows at the right time for it to continue down the right path. In less than 2 minutes, Cocoon has wordlessly introduced two completely new puzzle mechanics and wordlessly guided you to a solution combining them both. If that's not intuitive, I don't know what is. Later on, Cocoon's puzzles get so complex and multi-layered that describing them with words might be impossible, but at no point did I fail to understand what was going on. If I was stuck, it was because I hadn't figured out the solution. It was never because I didn't understand the problem. And it is amazing just how complex of a problem Cocoon can make you understand. It takes you there in well-measured baby steps, and the thematic underpinnings of that complexity are essentially what passes for the story. Your journey centers around a collection of orbs, which are also worlds that can be delved into and placed inside of each other. Each world has a unique identity and atmosphere. I loved the approaching rainstorm on Planet Green. And each orb provides a unique ability. Many games, and other media for that matter, have ways of harking back to prior experiences in their final moments. The final boss might be fought in the starting area, for example, or visual, musical, and linguistic motifs might jog the player's memory. In Cocoon, these orbs are not only companions with unique personalities, but they literally are the environments you have spent the entire game exploring. When you carry all 4 of them, stacked within each other towards the interaction that ends the game, you are carrying all of your past experiences with you, literally as well as metaphorically. And that is the sort of investment that is only possible in the interactive medium.